I'm Johnny Roque. This is Johnny Explains. Am I live now? Am I live? Am I live? We're going live. I'm Johnny Roque. This is Johnny Explains It All, and I'm explaining Black Hicks. I'm going to get right. I'm Johnny Roque. This is Johnny Explains It All, and I'm explaining Black History Month. History Month. Try one more time. If I can't get it, I can't get it. I'm Johnny Roque, and this is Johnny Explains It All. I'm really glad no one watches the first 30 seconds of these lives. I'm Johnny Roque, and this is Johnny Explains It All. You're watching Johnny Explains Black History Month. I guess this is my podcast. I don't know what it's called. Let's try it one more time because why not? No one's watching right now. I'm going live on YouTube. I'm going to probably put this up on other streaming platforms. Remember, subscribe to my YouTube because let's try it. 1, 2, 3. I'm Johnny Roque. This is Johnny Explains It All, and today I'm explaining Black History Month. I think I've done an episode on this already, but it's been years. It's been years since I've done any type of podcasting. Thank you for joining me on the first Monday of February. First Monday of February. There's so many R's in February. I hate it. I am not one to pronounce every letter correctly in words. I've been known to mispronounce a lot of words. But guess what? February is not a good one. It's not a good one for a lot of people with speech impediments, like people who have slurs, people who have stutters, people who have dyslexia. February. I know, like, you don't think of dyslexia as a speech impediment, but like that's how words work in brains. Sometimes the letters get mixed up and you say things like February. But yeah, happy first Monday of February. This is Black History Month, which is probably the most unfair month to have a month. I think the only people who have it like a worse time of month is Mexicans and Latinos, Chicanos, or Hispanics. 9 words to say the same thing. Brown people from the Americas, we don't have a month until I think the middle of September, September 15th to October 15th, or some weird like digestion of numbers and dates that don't really work out. But February's 28 days. It's the hardest month to spell, hardest month to say. And it's really very difficult to actually have a celebration in a month that is February. Happy Black History Month. I think that's the better way to put it. And Black History Month is one of my favorite months of the year. A lot of people really like to look over Black History Month as a month of like, oh, how come Black people get to have their own date? It's honestly the best way to use like the beginning of the year to remind all of us that the people in this country are not fair to each other all the time. And then you find out, oh, well, let me read a little bit more history. And I think that's the coolest part about Black History Month is the history. It's the part where you get to read back and see what actually happened in the United States. That's the coolest part because a lot of the United States starts off like a fairy tale. A lot of it starts off like Pocahontas. Just watching it like, oh, cool. They showed up to the, okay. Well, yeah, some people had an argument and ultimately we all decided we should be America. And then you go to Black History Month and you're like, none of that was true? Wait. No, that's kind of true, right? No, we had slavery, but it wasn't that bad. And then you go into Black History Month and you're like, wow, slavery was bad, real bad. Oh, and then like social media Black History Month. Oh, I love social media Black History Month, mainly because it's the one time of year where I'm scrolling and I feel like I'm uncovering things that I shouldn't be knowing about the country. It's one time of year where I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then all of a sudden it's just like, dun, 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 dun. Did you know that the United States buried dozens and dozens of Black people-owned towns underwater? And I'm like, I did not know that. I had no idea about that. And then I go through it and I'm like, whoa, Black History Month is dope because it's the realest month of history. It's the only month in like the entire year where history is exposed as it should be, as it should, and like history should be truthful like it is in Black History Month. A lot of history in all the other history months, not that truthful. A lot of it's covered in like sugar and candy and a little spice because it's not all going to be nice. A lot of that is happening throughout all 11 other months in history class. But Black History Month, it's always like, well, you know, we had slaves. Can we like that's how we work like slavery in the United States. Every other we had slaves. Can we move on from that? But Black History Month, it's like we had slaves. Can we dive into it and explain what that actually meant? It wasn't like the indentured servitude that a lot of people believe it. Oh, slavery. We want to go buy people from their country because they're selling them to us. Yeah, but then when we got here, we redefined slavery on the amount of torture, the amount of like inhumane treatment that we showed to people, and not even us. I'm saying that as a statement of generosity to Americans, to European Americans that showed up and just decided to start enslaving an entire continent of people that like they already started enslaving. If you look through like Europe's history, Spain, France, they all started like really taking advantage of Africa and like the Moors. Again, Black History Month. It's the only time in history where you get to read and understand what really happened. Like the entire time throughout colonization of the United States, people are just assuming that slavery was, it wasn't that bad. And then you read a few chapters into the people's history of the United States during Black History Month because that was your reading assignment for a college level course that you took in high school because you thought it would be fun. It wasn't. It wasn't fun. It was a lot of work. And then you find out, whoa, man, the colonies really did a terrible thing with the Africans that they brought over because it was just a way to create a class system of slavery. A full class on you deserve to be underneath me because you were born underneath me type of place that the United States was making. And it's really like their idea of how we should be living in general. If you haven't noticed, a lot of the white supremacy tactics that are currently going on in the government, like doing a Nazi salute at the inauguration or sending out an entire white supremacist army under the guise of calling it Homeland Security, or just doing white supremacist stuff like stopping brown people for being brown or speaking with a little bit of an accent or looking like you speak like an accent. Like that is just what's going on currently at the moment. And we're going to try and like whitewash that away in a few years. A lot of people are going to be like, 2025, 26, it wasn't that crazy. And then you're going to have to like look through the history books and be like, well, what happened in 2025 to 26? Because this is not going to be a very kind period to the people of this time. Because we know better. We know better at this time in the entire country. Everyone else used to be able to say, we didn't know we were doing that. This time period, we know better. We know better that we shouldn't treat people like they're subhuman. We know better that we shouldn't take away rights from people. We know better that we shouldn't go after people illegally by violating constitutional privileges that we are given to when we are born because we're in this country. Given to just by being in this country. It's so crazy. It's so crazy that like in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have to backtrack and be like, you know what's going on? They kind of lied during those time periods of 2025, 2024, 2026. And, sorry. And then no, we're going to actually have to go back through history and be like, you know what? No, it's not sorry. It's time to actually do trials. And I'm excited about that. I'm very excited about that. Like the trials that are going to actually come out of this. Oh my God. Because right now they released the names of the guys who took out there it is. Who took out the Minnesota the Minnesota victim, Alex Peretti. Their names were released. Released the names of the two dudes who shot and fatally took out Alex Peretti, 37-year-old intensive care nurse. They released those names, and I'm kind of like amazed by it because they're two dudes from Texas. They are from South Texas. I think one of them was Jesus Ochoa, and the other was Raimundo Gutierrez. Like these guys, and it's a crazy thing because these guys signed up to join ICE in Texas. Then they were sent out to Minnesota, and then they were sent back to Texas after they unalived. Like they were a part of, I guess, special training forces. But it's insane that these two dudes were sent from Texas to Minnesota only to be sent back to Texas after breaking laws in Minnesota. And the law is murder. That's the one law they broke. Thou shalt not murder. Like that's insane that those names came out because like a lot of people were like, they scrubbed those names from. They didn't give them to the police. They didn't give them over to any type of people actually doing any investigation. ProPublica had to find out those names from journalism, as they call it. Here's 5 news stories that took place today, February 1st. Government shutdown, immigration deal, shutdown status. A partial government shutdown continues, furloughing 10,000-ish. Department of Homeland Security is expected Tuesday, and that means we're either going to give the military in the United States, or Democrats are going to actually have a spine and kind of fight back on this and like really see that it's not doing the well to overinflate one institution. Also, the Epstein documents aftermath. Side note: I feel very upset about Epstein salt because I've been saying Epstein salt. I know it's Epstein salt. It's again words very tricky. Epsom salt. That's what I've been. Yeah, Epsom salt. And I feel bad. I'm pretty sure when people are typing in EAPS, boom, Epstein doc, and they're like, no, I want the salt that you put in a. They're not hurting. The Department of Justice stance. Deputy AG Todd Blanche. That's how you say his name. That's just when I don't have a lot of power in this world. Blanche, just saying it like that makes me feel a lot better. A signal, no new charges will be filed following the document release. So the Epstein files were released, and guess what? Those guys got away with it because they made the laws and they made the technology and all the other stuff that we're actually using to currently live. So Todd Blanche isn't giving out any actual names on the Epstein files for laws and violated children. Political pressure. Who I don't really think is a person. I'm pretty sure she's a Barbie with a lot of rats stuck in her head, controlling her like, how they did with Ratatouille. But these are evil rats, so they're really trying to make her walk like a lady. So they're not really doing a great job. Have you seen Pam Bondi? Oh, so bad in this administration. It's like giving a child a can and take away. Go answer some questions, everybody in this administration. ICE operations and national backlash. Minneapolis major protest continues after ICE agents and unalived nurse Alex Peretti. A federal judge later ordered the release of a 5-year-old child detained by ICE. ICE is taking children as hostages in order to get parents out and trick them into whatever they're doing in these detention centers that they're not releasing, taking care of people. I don't even care of like these people violating any crime, like the actual concentration camps, is illegal on so many levels. The 5-year-old that they just took from their family's home in Minnesota finally was released. Luckily, the 5 were released. But yeah, Democratic governors are building legal barriers against Trump's deportation. A few of them now because these ICE agents are people forget it is Martin Luther King. No, wrong King. Rodney King. We have to remember Rodney King and what happened after the Rodney King beating. The entire South LA was pretty much in flames. Some of East LA, I'm not going to say all of East LA, but a lot of all of South LA, East LA, like Long Beach, in flames. And that was from one incident of like people just being, you know what, we're tired of this. Police, you have no rule on this. We're going to take over our city. And I don't think it's going to get that extreme because I don't think, the ICE agents are really going to press people like that, especially not in like the rougher neighborhoods. Minnesota. It's Minnesota. Los Angeles. Very different types of cities. And I don't think like ICE is really going to be ready for that because they're definitely not ready for Minnesota. They're definitely not ready for like Seattle. And then they're going to try, like when they went into New York, they weren't ready even a little bit. And now they're going to try, like they're trying to like come into Los Angeles, and it isn't really working because we have laws that are, or lawmakers that are on our side trying to make things at least fair. Like not even right. They're just trying to make it fair. Like we have lawmakers on our side trying to make it right, trying to make things that we believe are correct, that we want to see more about in our country. Trump administration and institutional clash. Kennedy Center, which Trump tried to rename, but I'm really glad no one's just I think we're all just going to like ignore all his renames. Kennedy Center, Trump announced it will close for 2 years for renovations starting July, following performer cancellations. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the center is going to close for the rest of the administration, just for no reason at all. For the next few years, we're not closed down, Trump. We tried it. We did a year. But, for the next, we're just going to let this administration ride it out with without any type of entertainment. Judicial rebukes a misconduct complaint against a judge who criticizes the administration was dismissed. Judge nationwide are rebuking ICE for defying court orders. Yeah, judges are kind of mad about that. January 26th, Texas special election update. This is actually really cool. Texas, thank you for coming through on this one. Surprise results. Democrat Taylor Remet won a Texas state Senate seat in a district Trump won by 17 points in 2024. Trump reaction, the president brushed off the loss, claiming he was not involved despite endorsing the GOP candidate. Because when you're not a good person, you don't take blame for anything. You don't take blame for your losses. You don't take blame for learning life lessons. Nothing. Nothing's your fault, and everything is the reason why it succeeded was because of you. And that's insanity. That's the person we have making all our decisions. Okay, let's see what else. Oh yeah, I want to talk about my favorite Black History Month movie. If you've never seen it, it's called Meteor Man. It is easily one of the best movies to be made. Superhero cult classic movie, Meteor Man. If you can find it, stream it. I think it's on Hulu. It definitely has to be somewhere about, let's see, I think it's Meteor Man. Meteor Man is streamable on Just Watch. Oh no, these are percentages. Just Watch. 73%, IMDb 5.2, Rotten Tomatoes 27%. These guys are insane. Okay, Meteor Man starred Robert Townsend. It had Don Cheadle in it as like the bad guy, like the main bad guy. That was a cool main bad guy. James Earl Jones was in it. Eddie Griffin, young Eddie Griffin, funny Eddie Griffin was in it. Like this was a very great movie, and the underlining villain of the movie was the homeless guy, Bill Cosby. Who would have known? Who would have known? But Meteor Man, you can watch it on Amazon. You can also watch it on YouTube if you got it. But I'm sorry, I say but a lot because I get excited about this movie. My favorite power in this entire movie was him being able to read a book by grabbing it. If you didn't know, he would grab a book, boom, all the knowledge would be in his head for a limited amount of time. Limited amount of time, all the knowledge in his head. Bam, Meteor Man. And he was a teacher. He didn't wear a mask. I don't think he wore a mask. People just was like, oh yeah, that's just another black dude in a cape flying around the city. He fought drug kingpins. He planted a community garden in the city that people used for food. It was the best superhero movie. Honestly, they haven't made a superhero movie like Meteor Man because this guy actually did stuff to help the community. Not any other superhero has ever done that. There's never been a episode of The Flash. There's never been a Superman movie or a Batman movie or an Avengers movie or an Iron Man movie, name all the superheroes. There has never been one that went into the black community and gave so much. Like he made a garden that they used for food he cleaned the streets, actually cleaned the streets. He got the drugs off the streets. He got the drug dealers in jail. It was a great movie. And for somebody growing up in that time period where that was all over the news, where drugs are taking over the city, are gangs in your area? Yes, they were. And you know what? Meteor Man was one of those movies that was like, you could be a good guy. There's good guys out there, okay? You don't always have to be self-centered. You don't always have to be fighting somebody who's trying to take over the world. You could just be fighting somebody who's trying to take over your community, like an evil developer that's using drugs to push his own plot into the city to, take over housing and make the people even more poor. That was a great movie. Oh my God, Meteor Man was such a great movie. Thank you so much, Robert Townsend, for making that. I'm going to be in. Oh, he didn't make it. There's a whole bunch of people that made it. Thank you. I'm sorry. Robert Townsend was the director of that movie. My bad. But he did make it. Oh, man. If I could get him on this podcast, I'd love to. I'll send him a message. He might reply. I'm going to be at the Sunset Room Monday nights. Every other week. We're starting again tomorrow, February 2nd. I'm going to have Stephen Briggs. I'm going to have Sarah Chang. And I am also going to have Derek Lemos on the show. If you show up, that'd be great. Other things that I'm talking about, Funk and Funny Fridays. This Friday, show up. It's going to be a great show. Here are some facts about Black History Month that I want to get to before I close out this episode. I'm pretty happy about this, actually. I'm going to start doing this because it kind of helps out a lot more than just randomly doing things. Excuse me, that's a burp. But quick facts. Boom. 10 key facts about Black History Month. 1, it started as 1 week in 1926, and it was created by historian Dr. Carter G. Woodson. The week was chosen to coincide with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass. Read his stuff. He's a good guy. And Abraham Lincoln. What? Thanks, bro. Abraham Lincoln was honorarily put into remembering the greats of the Black community. That's pretty cool. It expanded to a month-long observance in 1976, officially recognized by President Gerald Ford, who might not have been a great guy, but at least, he recognized Black History Month. The first official Black History Month was celebrated at Kent State University in 1970. Each year has a theme. The theme of 2026 is a century of Black history commemorations. It's not just an American holiday. It's also observed in Canada, the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Jamaica, though sometimes in different months, like October in the United Kingdom. Thurgood Marshall became the first American Supreme Court Justice in 1967. Madam C.J. Walker is recognized as the first U.S. woman to become a self-made millionaire through her hair care products. Shirley Chisholm was the first African-American woman elected to Congress in 1968 and the first major party Black candidate for president in 1972. Before Barack Obama, Hiram Rhodes Revels was the first African-American to serve in the U.S. Senate representing Mississippi from 1870 to 1871. Happy Black History Month, otherwise known as Actual American History Month. Thanks for watching. I'm John Roque. You have a great night. Or have a great day. I'm going to figure out how to close out this podcast better.